Let's take a look inside Russia. Breaking news today is that President Vladimir Putin is once again making headlines, vowing quick retaliation against what he calls Europe's escalating militarization. And while he's warning Europe, he's brushing off Western fears that Russia plans to attack NATO, calling those fears, and I quote, nonsense. Let's break it down. Speaking at the Valdai plenary session in Sochi, an annual gathering where Putin often lays out his worldview, the Russian president said Moscow was closely monitoring Europe's buildup of arms and defense projects. He's insisted Russia cannot and will not ignore what's happening, framing it as a matter of national security. He warned that Russia's countermeasures will come quickly, while at the same time, European leaders in Copenhagen meeting to pool support for Ukraine and accelerate defense coordination against Russian aggression. Speaking at the Valdai plenary sessions in Sochi, an annual gathering where Putin often lays out his worldview, the Russian leader said Moscow was closely monitoring Europe's buildup of arms and defense projects. He insisted Russia cannot and will not ignore what's happening, framing it as a matter of national security. Putin warned that Russia's countermeasures will come quickly, while at the same time European leaders were in Copenhagen meeting to boost support for Ukraine and accelerate defense coordination against Russian aggression.
Если, не дай бог, дойдет до каких-то ударов, то все должны понимать, что вот у России есть система СПРН, система по предупреждению, раннего предупреждения о ракетном нападении. У США есть. Больше в мире нигде такой системы развитой нет. У нас есть. В Европе развитой системы нет. Они в этом смысле более или менее беззащитны. Это первое. Второе, мощность ударов. У нас наше тактическое ядерное оружие в 3 раза мощнее, в 4, чем использованные американцами бомбы против Хиросимы и Нагасаки. В 3-4 раза. У нас по количеству их в разы больше. И на европейском континенте, и даже если американцы привезут свои из США, у нас все равно в разы больше.
And here's where it starts to get interesting. While Putin came down hard on Europe, he struck a very different note when it comes to the President Donald Trump. Despite Trump's recent criticism of Moscow, Putin praised him, even suggesting that if Trump had been in power, the war in Ukraine might have been avoided. That sounds familiar, right? Well, that's a line that President Trump often uses himself. Putin even called President Trump a comfortable interlocutor. In other words, someone easy to talk to, and dismissed Trump's jab that Russia's military is just a paper tiger. Putin flipped it back by saying if Russia is a paper tiger while fighting NATO, then what does that make NATO? But while Putin courts Trump, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelenskyy was in Copenhagen warning that Russia is stepping up what he called a destructive action. He urged Europe to act without delay, saying only united efforts can guarantee security. Zelenskyy is pushing hard for more weapons and intelligence support, including Tomahawk cruise missiles and other long-range systems capable of striking deep into Russian territory. Now, let's not forget, according to reports, the president of the US himself recently authorized intelligence to help Ukraine target energy infrastructure inside Russia. That's a huge shift in policy if it continues. So, both Moscow and Kyiv are trying to win over the US's ear, knowing he could shape how this war plays out. But let's head back to Putin. His message was crystal clear. Europe is the enemy, US is a potential partner, and Ukraine should think seriously about negotiations despite Russia's staggering casualties on the battlefield. And just to add a personal twist, Putin even reminisced about having coffee in pajamas with Tony Blair. Yes, really, while also praising the president of the US proposed plans for peace in Gaza. Bottom line, Europe braces for more tension, Zelenskyy pushes for faster support, and Putin plays a double game, threats towards Europe and flattery towards the US. So what do you think? Is Putin genuinely trying to reset ties with the US? Or is this just a tactic to divide the West? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more reports. Until next time, I'm Whitney McCoy, reporting for the African Diaspora News Channel.